Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It is Markets in the Morning. Let's go! Hey! What's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is Monday, March 18th, 2024. This is Markets in the Morning, where we take a look at the price action of the cryptocurrency market, including the Bitcoin price chart, along with the altcoin market. Take a peek over there at the United States stock market, which is set to open up in the next 2 minutes, along with looking at precious metals like gold and the US dollar currency index, or the DXY. Then, of course, we take a peek over there at any type of financial news and any type of crypto news as we kick off our week. Big week ahead of us. We have the FOMC meeting this week. The Fed is going to tell us whether or not they're going to pause interest rates, raise interest rates, or lower interest rates. The market has put a 99% probability on that they will remain paused, so that'll be what I do expect. That will be this Wednesday. So that meeting is in 2 days, 4 hours, and 30 minutes. So these weeks are typically volatile in every way. The days leading up to, the day of, the day after. And, well, this is actually the last Markets in the Morning of the week. We only actually have one this week, as I'm going to be doing the XRP Gold Ghost 2024. So there's a link in the description of this video if you want to check this thing out. They have virtual tickets as well over there. But, yeah, that's what's going on with me this week, is that I will be busy doing an Australia thing. If you can't tell, I also feel drastically better than I did last week. I finished all my meds and all good. Been feeling pretty good for about 3 days, so we're all back to normal. But all right, let's go ahead and dive into the market and see how we are kicking off this week. It looks like the stock market's opening up positively, which is great. Looks like Bitcoin sitting at 67,900. We had a pretty decent amount of pulling down happening throughout the altcoin market throughout the weekend. Of course, the big narrative throughout the weekend, the showstopper still has continued to be Solana. Again, it's one of those things that we've talked a lot about when it comes to developer activity levels, talking about user activity levels, and all that stuff, is that, Solana is just, it's being used. Solana is being used a lot. People look at it and are like, oh, it's just down half the time. Yeah, but people are using it all like crazy. So it is extremely active. And of course, I talk a lot about capitulation and the different styles of capitulation in the market. You have, price capitulation. Price falls really hard, so people will capitulate. Time-based capitulation. We spend a long time in a trough. People capitulate thinking it's never going to come back because enough time has elapsed. Last one is jealousy. So pretty much every altcoin out there, everybody is looking over there at Solana like, oh, Solana's taking off. I'm sure a lot of people are dumping their stuff, chasing the Solana pump. Solana is interesting in regards to just kind of where it's at right now. It's now back at its last retracement level there. Let's see. Hold on. Let's get this down. There you go. Just barely poking above that last retrace. Let's see, is it above it still right now? Right at it on the dot currently right now for Solana. So sitting right there at its last retracement level for Solana. And of course, the FOMO is wild, right? So what are people really using Solana for right now? Pretty much, I think it's like thousands of meme coins are getting created every hour. Is where it's actually at. Thousands per hour over there on Solana. AVAX, it's a very similar story, right? Tons of users over there, high development activity. You can just see TVL Avalanche up there. You're not only are you on the high development list, you're also on user activity levels. And I've written all about that in the newsletters where we've gone through development activity. I've done newsletters on where are the users at, Avalanche being one of them as well. So Solana and Avalanche on the top end with Ethereum there for user activity levels. Not surprising to see those two are doing well. And just with everything that's going on, right? I mean, that's what's happening throughout the market. So they're crushing it and killing it. Whereas, for the most of the weekend, we had a pretty decent sized pull down happen throughout the whole market as Bitcoin was pulling back as well. So Bitcoin still sits over here at 68,172. So there you go, doing a little bit better now that the United States stock market has opened up this morning. The altcoin market cap, of course, it's gotten right back to these levels, right back in here, just under retracement levels for total 2. Still paused out, unable to get through there just yet. Others got back to its 702 retracement in here. We're talking about, last week, if you don't have a cash position, we'll see if an opportunity comes up here. But XRP, still waiting to see that we get a third range boundary to come in and a floor to come in here to go ahead and start setting up E a little bit more cleanly in here, but still just waiting for that to show up in there. Otherwise, we still just sit down here at the lows like we did throughout the whole weekend, which is kind of like what the whole market really did throughout the weekend, except, of course, for Solana and Avalanche. Looking over here at XRP, there's a couple of interesting things I was looking at this weekend, right? Of course, you go over there on Twitter, you just see nothing but crying and whining and complaining, and I get it. And then you kind of think to yourself, all right, so like from an extreme standpoint, is it justified to be feeling that way? Like it's not like price has exactly gone down over the last, year and a half, 2 years. It's just been in a steady climb and creep and crawl up. But of course, it's when you see things like Avalanche and stuff like that, and Bitcoin and Ethereum getting back up into its retracement levels as well, which, right? So like everybody's looking to Solana like, wow, it's all the way back its retracement levels. So is Ethereum. But, you think to yourself, all right, is it justified to be feeling that way, of like looking at the rest of the market and saying, it's not fair? And so like we look at just like the price of XRP in relation to the whole market cap of crypto. And there's only been a couple of times in history where the price has, been here in relation to the total market cap of the whole cryptocurrency market. And it really just kind of happened right back in here, back in July of 2014, over in here, back in March of 2017, over here in January of 2021, and over here in March of 2021, where like in relation to the total market cap of the entire cryptocurrency market, this has been the most extreme pain point that the price has ever been at. And it's real interesting to kind of go back and look at those time periods and say, well, what happened? Where were those moments? Those moments were right here. So this is July of 2014, which you can see over here. This is July of 2014. The most extreme pain point, shoots all the way up. It looks awfully similar to Solana, doesn't it? Then you move over here to March of 2017, right? So here you are in March of 2017. You reach back up to this extreme level. What ends up occurring next? It gets out of all of that. The next time we end up getting to these levels is right over here in January of 2021, which is where? Right here, before we go. And then you look over here, where's this one? This one is here in March of 2021, which is right here. So every time we have gotten to the point where it's been this extreme, that is typically where the market participants do feel it, right? You're going to feel it the worst up here at the extreme levels at this point. What will happen next? We'll all find out, but I showed you exactly what did happen those 4 particular times that it was this oversold in relation to the market, and not necessarily that it's oversold in the aspect that the price has just been creeping and crawling its way up for the last year and a half, bottoming in June of 2022, right? The capitulation of FTX is over here. We actually bottomed before that. But when you look at how other parts of the market have been moving and the relationship between the price versus that, it's definitely at an extreme right now. And we've been at these extremes a few times, but now you kind of have an idea at least to see, hey, here's what happened when those extremes were reached last time, the last 4 times that it did happen. So hopefully not too much longer in there. Looking over there at Bitcoin, like even measured in Bitcoin, this is over the course of the last 3.5 years. So this actually dates back to where December of 2020, Bitcoin over XRP, it's back at its retracement levels as well. So there's an extreme point there too. Looking over there at total 2, we've already kind of gone through that. Ethereum, we've already gone through that one. Total 3, gone through that one. Everything's just back at these retracement levels in here. Dow Jones Industrial Average stock market, now that it is open, the Dow is up 95 points. The Nasdaq's up 260. And the S&P is up 48. So we're up about 1.5% for the NASDAQ. That's huge. Up almost 1% for the S&P. That's huge. And up 0.25% for the Dow. The RTY, or the Russell 2000, flat. So again, that's one of those things where the whole market just isn't going. It's really consolidated into a very small segment of the market that is sending this thing going. And this is really our first time out of the last 15 to 20 years where this thing has not gone with the market. And this is bizarre behavior to see. And I'm sure when we look back on this and 5 years from right now, we'll say, that told us something. And this is not similar to the entire run up that has happened, the entire run up that has happened since the great financial crisis. The whole market expanded together. I won't go too deep into this today, right? We've talked about breadth of the market and that it's very, very, very different from what we've seen in past moves. This is very similar style behavior of kind of what we saw in crypto back in November of 2021, where it was really consolidated into just a few of the big caps, whereas 99% or 90% of the market did not go set new all-time highs. It's really the same behavior we're seeing over here in the stock market currently right now. It's massively bizarre. And of course, at that time, of course, we also do have gold sitting at a new all-time high. It is up this morning. It's up about $1. Silver's up about 5 cents this morning as we kick off a new Monday. The US dollar currency index still just creeping along in here. Nothing new to really say about this. We've been tracking it for months now. Still just on kind of waiting game. When we get down in here is where I'll start saying, all right, I'm really scared now. All right, looking over there at financial news as we get the day started and the week started. S&P 500 futures rise as traders turn eyes to NVIDIA conference and await Fed meeting. I liked this photo in here, like what they say. S&P futures rise as traders turn their eyes to NVIDIA. And like he's like pointing and his eyes are turning and her eyes are turning. Like, look to the NVIDIA conference. All right, Alphabet up 5.5% in pre-market trade. Let's go look at that. Hold on, I did not go through what the winners and losers of the morning are so far. Winners are Google, NVIDIA, Tesla, and Apple. Losers are Roblox, United Health, Coinbase, Ford, and ARK. All right. Alphabet up 5.5% in pre-market trade after a report Apple is in talks with licensed Gemini for iPhones. United Airlines CEO tries to reassure customers after a string of flight problems. Stocks making the biggest moves pre-market are Google, HashiCorp, NVIDIA, and more. All right, move over to Bloomberg. Apple is in talks to let Google Gemini power iPhone AI features. If a deal between Apple and Google comes to fruition, it would build upon the two companies' search partnership. Interesting, right? Create a monopoly. Apple without AI looks more like Coca-Cola than high growth tech. TSMC bulls ignore Buffett's warning and stick to the AI bet. I wrote a newsletter last week, and we talked about altcoins on the rampage, where the action is at, searching for the market for best performing sectors, which are high dev activity, memes, and AI steal the show. We're going to come back to that AI stuff because not only is the AI sector of the United States stock market, of course, a narrative. It's even a narrative over here in crypto, as bizarre as that is. Yeah, my crypto is going to do AI. All right, Apple buys Canadian AI startup as it races to add features, but it just tells you, right, sticking to the AI bet. Putin warns Russia won't stop after predictable election win. Apple's in talks with Google about, the blockbuster AI deal. FTX bankruptcy trade mints 200% windfall and sparks legal battle. Betting on the remains of FTX is lucrative and complicated. Yeah, with Solana now up 10x since the FTX collapse, I bet they're all sitting pretty fancy right now. Binance offers $5 million reward. All right, we're moving over to crypto news now. Binance offers a $5 million reward for insider trading tip-offs. FOMC meets halving danger zone. Right, FOMC meets the halving danger zone. Right, so like just so you know, everybody out there, right, we're all talking about the halving. I've talked about this a million times too. The halving is going to be approaching in about a month from right now. Two things are going to happen. Bitcoin's going to sell off or Bitcoin's going to rip to the upside, but the Bitcoiners definitely have their narrative pre-planned. If it rips to the upside, it just goes to show you how sound money and reducing inflation and limited supply creates crazy demand. But if it falls and crashes, well, it always does that before the halving. So both sides are covered for the halving. Bitcoin traders eye 60K Bitcoin price support. We forgot. We missed stuff. Okay, so if the FOMC meets the halving danger zone, 5 things to know in Bitcoin this week. Pink Drainer creator defends his wallet draining crypto scam kit. Neither Joe Biden nor Donald Trump are crypto champions. I know we're getting into election season. I do not enjoy talking about politics, but we're in an election season. People are going to say what they need to say. We already know Joe Biden and company are 100% anti-crypto. Mr. Trump, he didn't do much for crypto while in office. So I'm not going to sit here and have any thoughts in my head that he's going to do anything positive for crypto in any way. However, hopefully not what Biden is doing if he does win, right? Biden, and again, I don't do politics, but if it's pertaining to crypto, there's unquestionable that the current administration has been nothing but a torture. But I'm also not going to believe that any other administration is going to sit here and champion, right? So Bitcoin to enter pre-halving danger zone, but crypto CEOs remain bullish. Yeah, so we're gonna definitely talk about the danger zone now. Okay, pro XRP lawyer confident he can win Senate bid and sets $1 million campaign goal. I wonder who they're talking about. I'm gonna bet it's John Deaton. So John Deaton trying to get to $1 million out there. You can check out his Twitter page. Bitcoin traders eye $60,000 Bitcoin price support as huge futures gap opens. Solana activity flips Ethereum amid meme coin craze, even as transactions fail. Yeah, so Solana activity is absolutely sky high. VC roundup, AI blockchain solutions are winning investors' hearts. Bitcoin to enter pre-halving again. Wow, we're just lots of pre-halving dangers. It's because they have the same one under their hot stories and editor's choice. Okay, there you have it. Pretty much, we're running with the narrative of we're going to crash because of the halving. Cool. All right. Bitcoin back above 67K as meme coins push up Solana and AVAX, right? So remember this. I got this newsletter out here. I published it last Friday, I think. I put a link in the chat. There's also a link in the description of this live stream to it as well. If you want to check this out, where we're going around searching to where's the money flowing to in the market. It's clear. It's the high dev activity coins. It's memes, and it's anything that is AI. You ready? Here we go. Meme coins soared past 55 billion in market cap, up 11% as traders double down on SHIB with Bonk and the newcomer Corgi AI. So we now have meme coin with AI in it. So memes and AI steal the show. And there you have it. You have meme plus AI in your meme. And that is the golden ticket. You should make it like super high dev Corgi AI. That would have been your golden one. All right, prediction market Kalshi to take bets on crypto settled in dollars. The CFTC regulated platform will let traders bet on how high Ethereum will go this year and other price outcomes amid renewed interest in both crypto and prediction markets. So, okay, there you go. That's your news. Not a whole lot outside of memes are doing well, obviously. Solana's on fire because of the insane meme craze. It's very easy to create a meme token on Solana. Everybody's doing it, but it's like now getting to a point where it's like thousands created per hour. It's insane. AI is obviously hot. And now with prices coming back, we have to have a narrative. We have to have a reason. You have to have a way to massage sentiment, the sentiment massaging for the pullback that has been going on, of course, is just going to be halving stuff. which I don't buy. I don't buy. So, kind of like where we're at right now in relation to the crypto market and just in general being back at these retracement levels. It's not our first rodeo to get back to these things and be back at the retracement levels after, long periods of time. Once we get back to these things, they're typically going to be really volatile right in here. But of course, I just keep expressing caution because when you get back, right, you watch this channel for a long time. I'm bull, I'm bull, I'm bull. While everybody's crying and whining, I'm bull. I'll show you all the stuff. We get to sign of strength. I'm not scared of us dying from sign of strength. Then we get on to phase E. We get back to the retracement levels. Now, everybody's unwaveringly confident, but this is the spot where we have to see if we're going to be able to get through here. And so this is just a really uneasy time being back at these retracement levels, and we have to see it be able to expand and get through. There's typically going to be volatility getting back to these levels and into these areas, so it's not unusual to see that type of stuff happening in here. You can see you got all the way up to the 702 here back in 2020. And even after getting there, it fired all the way back down below the 50. So you got back down in here, getting back down to like $1 trillion there for total 2. So there was a lot of volatility that ended up happening in there. And we're just at this really critical point. And, when you get back to these retraces, that's where all decisions get made. That's where everything can go one way or the other. So just keep that, keep it in mind. Keep it in mind. We know where Bitcoin is at, right? Way up in here. And, again, here's why the halving is dumb. I'm gonna do it. It's gonna do it because I'm putting together like a PowerPoint presentation right now for this discussion that I'm gonna do, and I've done all this stuff before. All right, in 2012, right? It touches the new all-time high 90 days after the halving. In 2016, it touches the all-time high 180 days after the halving. In 2020, it touches the all-time high 224 days after the halving. And here in 2024, it touches it 55 days before the halving. There's literally no consistency with the halving. So what are you extrapolating from it? That's my point. All right, I'm done. Okay. It is so massively inconsistent with the halving. It's just silly. You know what's really consistent with? The Dow Jones. The Dow Jones Industrial Average. How about that? Okay. All right, so here's what's going on with me, guys. I am going to... And now here's the deal. We've already tested out the laptop. We've gotten it all ready to go on this trip and do this thing. So I can attempt to do live streams or videos whenever the time is available. But this is a reality, right? I'm going to Australia. Over 24 hours there, over 24 hours back. It's a total of like 5 or 6 days. I'm only going to have 3 full days there and I'm back, right? So it's not like there's all this time where like I'm just going to be sitting around twiddling my thumbs and being able to create YouTube videos. It's going to expect it to be incredibly spotty. And what I'm praying is that I could somehow figure out how to do like a YouTube Shorts thing from my phone at some point. So just kind of getting ready that we're going to be like that for the next week. And then when we come back next week, right, I should be back Tuesday of next week. We'll be all good. The whole next week. And then the week after that, there's going to be a couple of days off again. I know you're going to love that, but there's going to be a couple of days off again 2 weeks from now. But next week when I get back, we'll be able to finish the whole week together. But just kind of know, that is what's coming up here. This thing's going on. I'm super excited to meet a lot of you. 10% of the people who view my channel are in Australia. That is crazy. And unfortunately, a lot of them probably can't watch markets in the morning because right now it's like midnight there. It's late. It's like super late. So I don't know. If you're an Australian and you're in here, type yes in the chat. I don't know if they can stay up this late. It's ridiculously late for them to be able to do it. So yeah, and 10% of the audience is in Australia. That's pretty crazy. So that's what's going on, and I'm looking forward to it, but just kind of anticipating this is it for us for the week. I got to go get a haircut. I got to get groomed up and cleaned up. Look at that! Look at all those Australians in there. So get all cleaned up and get prepped and everything like that, and get ready for my big long trip. And I'm excited to meet a lot of you. I'm excited to present. I'm excited to go to Australia. I've never been to Australia before. So, okay, Ryan. All right, Ryan. Yeah, I was talking to Pat yesterday. I got really close to saying an F-bomb on the channel last Friday. Yeah. Oh, look at that drain cleaning Australia with over. He's got even the check mark in there. We've got like a super amazing Australian drain cleaning guy. That's cool. But all right, so there we go. We're gonna hop into the chat. Bitcoin, it's still just pulling back. Structurally, it's had like a 5-wave structural pull down in there. So there's a decent chance for some support to be showing up in here right now. And then of course waiting to see if XRP can get a third range boundary put into place in here. And I saw somebody ask. I'll get to the super chats here in a second, but somebody was. Let me read it. Let me see if I can find it. Apology. This was from John. He says, apologies if you already discussed this. BCB was under the impression that Bitcoin led the charge and the altcoin market followed. How has Solana managed to ignore Bitcoin's precipitous drop? Well, 99% of the market pulls back over the weekend, right? 99%. You have, like with Solana, you have extreme euphoria happening in there, and you have something very specific happening on there with user activity, right? You have a lot of stuff just happening with Solana, but 99% of the market did, right? But everybody is staring at Solana right now, which they should. It's being used, right? So, all right, let's really hop into the chat here and get this day going. Take one more peek over there at the markets as we actually are open now. So how's the Dow doing? The Dow's up 80, the Nasdaq's up 250, S&P's up 45, and the RTY, again, the Russell 2000 is down. It's truly something we're going to look back on. I know it. I know it is. Right? Like I've shown this. I'm going to show it again. I have to. It's just like. Every time Bitcoin's gone into a bull run and the stock market's gone into a bull run, the Russell 2000 and the Dow go breaking out together. And when we move over to this one, right? So this is where Bitcoin breaks out as well, right? So this is 2017 bull run in here. This is Bitcoin's bear market throughout here. And so I think this is you. No. Is this you? No. It's you. All right. So Bitcoin's bear market throughout all of this, right? The Dow breaks out. The Russell 2000 breaks out with it, right? Full-blown expansion in the market ends up happening in here, right? You get both of them going together. And in 2019... in 2020, the Dow goes breaking out, but the RTY doesn't follow, and then we have COVID. But then eventually, in 2020, the expansion happens, right? The Dow goes and takes out its all-time high over here, and the Russell 2000 takes out its all-time high over here at the same time. And then what happens? Bitcoin goes too, right? So there's the Bitcoin. There's Bitcoin, and notice Bitcoin goes with it too. All expanding, all throughout the whole market, right? So like the thing that is very interesting here is that what you just saw in every single one of those is that there was the expansion together, and that is not happening. It is so far below The breadth is not there. And it is just something that I can't shake, a feeling I can't shake, to say we're going to look back on this at some point in time and say something was telling a story there. That every single bull run for Bitcoin, every single expansion, everything, that these elements were present, and that we were seeing expansion and broader base moves throughout all markets. And, you know, what do you know? The Dow gets the all-time high, Bitcoin gets the all-time high, but whether or not it'll expand into something majestic or magical, and that's still the million dollar question here, when we have elements that are just so vastly different. So we'll see. We'll see. That keeps me up at night. That does. That one keeps me up at night, that we are super consolidated, unlike what we've done in the past of all of these, where they all go. And that's, whether that's the great financial crisis, whether that's the 2017 bull run, whatever it is, they all go together. And that's not the case today. It's not the case at all. So, okay, we won't start the week with a bunch of crazy. Okay. All right. That, right? You just see it, right? You see the whole thing, right? Like, it always goes together when the expansions happen. And it's, what is going on? What is going on? So, okay, there you go. One more peek at the market. Here we go. Who's the winners of the day? It's Google, Nvidia, Apple, and Tesla. Losers are Roblox, Coinbase, ARK, United Health, GE. All right, yields. Looks like long duration yields are up a slight tick. Short durations are down a slight tick. Precious metals, you got gold up slightly. Silver now down about a penny. So, okay. All right, Gator gifted 5 BCB memberships. Brother, Gator, thank you very much, sir. Chris and Akumal, dude, have a great trip and good luck. Thank you very much, man. And then he gifted 5 BCB memberships. Thank you so much, man. That's the difference, right? Normally, I just get to sit here behind the computer. I'm in the same room I'm always in. I've got, several monitors here, and I'm really just speaking out into the universe when I sit here. Like, there's no one in front of me. The number on that screen says there's 2,941 people listening to me, but nothing changes in my room. Like, it's all still exactly the same thing. But this is going to be one of those things where it's like, hey, those people are actually there. Like, you see them? They're all looking at you. Right? That's going to be different. It's going to be different. Yeah, Pat. Okay, Pat. Calm down. All right, Benny C. New member. Welcome. Thank you very much, man. And then he just give super chat with no message for his first timer. Thank you, man. Jaxer. So I tried to explain crypto to my grandma and I failed. When I told her we're going to the moon, she said, son, Christians go much higher than to the moon. Yeah. Yeah. And right. So like when we're trying to explain use cases and stuff like that, it's very simple for a common person to understand. Hey, I can use this to buy meme coins and be a degen. Right. When we started explaining like distributed ledger technology of on-demand liquidity and it just gets way too complicated. Like, what? Okay. Right. So being able to explain things and why people can use things and enjoy things in simple to understand ways is super important. But yeah. You have to know when you're who you're going to pick the fight with. Fortunately, my mom's a diamond hander. She only owns Bitcoin. But I remember when she was buying it, she was like, all right, I'm willing to put some into Bitcoin. And I go, well, why don't we do it in 3 different buys? And this is back in October of 2018, maybe September. And I go, why don't you put 1/3 in right here? And at that time, Bitcoin was about $6,000. Then we started capitulating. And then when it got down to 4,500, I'm like, all right, why don't you put another third in? And then when it got down to 3,200, I was like, all right, go ahead and put your last third in. And so her dollar cost average, she has been in Bitcoin since 2008, the capitulation of 2018. And her DCA is 5K, 4.5K or something. She's never sold. I'm like, hey, you're up like 17x, right? She's like, oh, cool. I'm like, wow. I'm like, you want to sell it? She's like, nah, just leave it alone. God, all right. So, all right. The Jake Fu Show, BCB, emotional log. I'm sour about how well Solana is doing next to being down at 60 cents. Do you think this frustration could be bullish? Well, frustration is typically a sign before things do end up happening. But that's, of course, okay, why don't you compare yourself to Cardano? Why don't you compare yourself to Cosmos? Why don't you compare yourself to Chainlink? We don't. That's not what our brains emotionally and psychologically do. We pick the best performer and say that is the standard for the whole market. Remove that one and go compare yourself to everybody else. And it's like, it's a lot different. You think, like, I guarantee you Cardano holders feel the exact same way. I guarantee you Chainlink holders feel the exact same way. I guarantee you Polkadot, everybody, QNT, right? All these people are all Caspers. They're all sitting there thinking to themselves, gosh, Solana. Everybody's looking to Solana. So understand that, that is absolutely normal psychological behavior to look at the best performer and FOMO. That's what it is. Ryan Falconer, new member, welcome. Ryan Chase, there we go. Yeah. He says, hey, is your conservative target for XRP still $10,000? I think we're all going to remember. I guess my response to the $35 guy last week did not go unnoticed. Thank you, brother. JB Heavy and Equipment Services, Inc. Is it true that water spins the opposite direction down the drain in Australia? Have fun, BCB. Holy cow. Am I going to get to experience that? It should, right? It's in the southern hemisphere. Water should spin the opposite way. This will be exciting. Oh, it's not true? Yes, it is. It is true. It does, right? So what does water spin here? Water spins clockwise. So water should be spinning counterclockwise in Australia, right? Okay. Angela says, are you concerned that we won't get the encore with altcoins? Well, I mean, I sure hope we do. I mean, I pray to God. There's always, nothing is a 100%, right? Everything is hypothetical speculation, right? But we go back and we look at how behavior has been. And that's typically what happens. When we reach the extremes, when distribution is happening and crazy ends up happening, that's when you end up getting it. I still haven't seen anything resembling that S hits the fan, right? The band could have stopped playing, but we just don't really know yet. If you got a bigger move down, and that was a little bit aggressive, but you got a bigger move down and you got down to like 53 or something like that, my opinion would be, all right, that was it. The band has stopped playing. Now it's time for everybody to cheer for the encore. As we go into the encore, that's it. The show's over. But I just don't see that as of yet. We are definitely at a level of concern. You got the stock market up there too. But no, I couldn't imagine us not getting any action throughout the market. At least retraces at a minimum. And Pat, yeah, there's Pat, who I was talking to yesterday about it. He was like, man, you dropped a hard F-bomb. I'm like, wait, I don't think I said the whole thing. I think I only said the first half. Because I do try my best to keep profanity off of the channel. I do try to keep it family friendly because I know a lot of your kids listen to the show. They do the hey, and I try to keep that as PG as possible here on the channel. But it's like anything on live TV, anything weird can happen. Right. So thank you, Pat. Wigmapool 182 member for 18 months. Have a safe trip, BCB. Glad you are feeling better. Thank you very much, Wigmapool. I know for a fact you've been around much longer than 18 months. Thank you very much. Snoopy IRL says I exited AVAX on an 8x and I rolled it into XRP today. Sprinkles of positivity to everyone. Enjoy Oz, man. Yep. And that'll be interesting too, because I sit here and I think about that a lot too, right? Like we're talking about things like this, right? Where It's reached an extreme. And you go back and you go through each time where these things have happened, and the behavior of people whining and complaining and crying. Man, I've just told this story 1,000 times. That's exactly what it was like. This is nothing unusual. You don't like. You don't invest in this thing without thinking that's going to happen. The problem is we have so much content that is just boom, flip of the switch. We should probably always start it with, by the way, you're about to experience the most pain, frustration thing you've ever had in your life. And then like one day out of every 392 days, we get a crazy candle. Just crazy. And, that's historically how it's even been throughout all of these. Like this entire move up in here, it's really all consolidated into a couple of days, right? Like 1, 2 days, right? Then 1, 2, 3, 4 days, then stuck, and then 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's spread out over the course of, over a couple hundred days, right? And it's just a couple of these days where things actually end up happening. And that is just historically the price behavior of this particular asset. Now, what exactly causes it to do that particular phenomenon? I'm not sure. Like I've always said, you are not going to get your back scratched by your mom with this thing. You are not going to get cuddled. You are not going to get a warm glass of milk to go to bed. Nobody is going to kiss you and cuddle you to bed at night. You're going to have to tough it out in this thing. And then eventually what happens, it's the same story over and over again. A big pop ends up happening. It happens so quick, it triggers the emotions to buy the peak. And then you go back into it all over again. So, eventually, my expectations are whenever the price gets going, it will be a nearly straight line up like it always has. It has never been a grinding asset. It has always been straight line up. But the idea that was just presented there, right, of when does it usually happen? It's usually late. It's usually late to the party, so what you're experiencing isn't unusual. And I think about that a lot too, of like, I got myself very diversified heading into this thing, But at what point to start saying, okay, it's time to start rolling some of these. It's time to start moving some of these back in. And again, I haven't sold XRP. I've just been very diversified on my accumulation, percentage-wise, massively going after high dev and activity and stuff like that. But at what point do you go ahead and say, that's it? That's it. It's at the extreme. It may be there. But yeah, Wigma Pool 182, by the way. Yeah, I hope you were feeling better. I mean, I feel like 100%. I don't know if I'm pretty sure that can translate through my voice. Probably if you go back and listen to me last week, I did 2 streams with a 102.7 and a 102.9 fever. 2 times last week. But I finished all the meds. I haven't had a fever in like 4 days now, 3 days, something like that. And I'm feeling great. So thank you. But yeah, Snoopy RL, good luck to you. I hope that pans out for you well on your rotation. Otherwise, as we kick off the week, and I think we're good. So there you go. Bitcoin 67.3. What were we at the start? 68.2. Right? Let's look at the title. I'll try to update the price right before we go live. 68.2 is what we were at the start. So as the markets have kicked open, Bitcoin's pulled back about $1,000. Of course, we've seen that pullback happening all throughout here as well. Something in the very first super chat is, if Bitcoin is pulling back, then why isn't Solana? Well, Solana is pulling back today. Remember, it's isolated, right? 99% of the market did pull back with Bitcoin as well. But now it's time to see if it can start finding some supports in here for like Ethereum in here. Like you go back and you review these recoveries that have happened in here, like it will bounce around inside of these retracement levels. So sitting here and shooting back and forth in here isn't a big deal. And that's really kind of the thing to be keeping an eye on, especially over the next week, just to see that it just kind of just waffles in here. Any bigger breaks down, of course, gets concerning. And then, of course, at that point, you're like, but it's already fallen. Now I'm mad. Right. That's the hard part. And like when we're in this stuff and talking about this stuff, everybody's sentiment is super euphoric. You're screaming down with the bears, F the bears. We're all a team, F the bears. It's not about being bearish, guys. It's about taking profits and taking money off the table when extreme euphoria is ending up happening. When we get back up here, hey, hope you have a little bit of a cash position. But now it's time to see if we can just waddle around in here and not go with bigger breaks down, because bigger breaks down start to trigger some concerns. Like if you go back and watch a lot of the live streams and stuff we've done talking about Wyckoff accumulation to get back up in here, we're at this decision point now with the market. The market is back in here. And historically, when we get back to these levels, and if you're back in some new Bitcoin bull run happening, which of course everybody thinks is happening, then what we should be seeing is to finally get that exit through the retracement level for the altcoin market happening in here. One thing I've shown many times in here, before we got here, before, you know, we're working on sign of strength to happen in here and to get that breakout, I showed this example. Excuse me. I'm not exactly cheering for that, but it's to keep mindfulness of if something like Ethereum goes and takes out its retracement levels and it starts breaking down, you know, into the lower 3s, into the 2s, starts becoming a real possibility of these things happening in here. We should be sitting here and just battling this area and not going for big, massive breaks down. Show you examples, and like just like for those who are like, right, so here you go, right, you get above, and then where's it pull back to? The 618, right? So you technically did get above there, so technically pulling back in here is okay, but not to be breaking lower. And for those who watched on like super cycle stuff, right, normal to get above the last retracement level and pull back into the retracements to then shuffle up higher, but not to go breaking down lower. We go breaking down lower, we got to start worrying about that bigger picture of that stuff with the stock market, Bitcoin at that 4.236 extension, right? So right now for me, this is one of those areas of where throughout all of 2022 and 2023, I can place my bets, I can come on here, I can be spicy, and, you know, kind of mock the 12K ideas, right? But as we get back into these areas, the bet becomes different, right? The trade idea, everything like that to get back into here, that's that. Now it's like, have things run out of steam? Are we going to see something like maybe we've talked about where Ethereum does run out of steam here and the rotational play actually happens to XRP, right? Maybe it could be a weird dynamic in here if Bitcoin has topped and then the rotational plays all start early. Those are all the things we're having to watch for right now. And I get it that everybody wants to hear this is exactly what's going to happen. Well, the problem is you have a lot of people telling you this is exactly what's going to happen. And what they're doing is they're referencing 2016 and they're referencing 2020. But I keep showing you all the things that are massively different from that. And we're dealing with a different animal in a different picture than we did in the last 3 bull runs for Bitcoin. It is very, very different. And we're having to kind of play with it as it goes along. So I think all that's going to be present at some point, and we're going to see it all. But what we can all pray for, at least what I am, is that we actually get a very clear defining ending. And when that clear defining ending comes out, and then fingers crossed, it is like crystal clear, like it was the last couple of times, and not necessarily back in here because we expected a new high, right? And so that was a very difficult thing to comprehend until way later, that we still expected a new high. So how could that be the end of the alt season? And then having to really figure it out later, we actually set a new high in a bear market, and that was just crazy. But to pay attention to things like this, and to pay attention to things like this, where the euphoria has run out, the money is rotating, the crazy is happening, and that's what we're going to be paying attention to. So if that shows up here, right, if there just suddenly becomes right, oh my gosh, that's a horrible color. Right, if something like that shows up here, right, we'll be ready for it. If it doesn't show up yet, well, then we'll just keep on riding the parade and having a really good time. But it won't, I don't have the I have a mastery of what 2016 and 2017 were like. So we're all clear. Understanding the dynamics of the market happening in here, of where we get back to the all-time high, altcoin market dynamics, Bitcoin breakouts, the dynamics of what happened in 2016 and all that stuff. And the reality of it is the market is actually acting right now. If we actually did even use 2020 as some type of an example, if you were going to use 2020, which I'm not even saying it is being 2020, but if you were going to reference this for like on-chain behavior, technical behavior of how we actually are, it is like we're actually here. It's like we're actually 2 times the all-time high right now. That's how overbought, that's how extreme everything is right now. And it's also the same location of where the altcoin market is currently right now. Is actually as if Bitcoin's, this whole move right here was this move right in here. And that we've done like this breakout, right? This breakout has gotten us up to here, which gets us up to here. And then you have one more, and then you have one more. And it's as if we're like already there right now. And that's where the altcoin market caps are currently at right now. That's not on people's radar, right? So I see so many things that are like, it's not going to play the way people are expecting in regards to just their expectations, right? And like even the whole block reward halving stuff has already been just shattered again, which I've always said, shattered again. And what is it? It's like 80 days after the Dow Jones Industrial Average sets a new all-time high. But the thing that, regardless of whether it's here, things that happen is that those big moves that end up happening where the altcoin market does go pushing one last time into those moves, right? And if we see that emerge, if we see that happen in here, regardless of where the market is, if that does happen again, we're going to be paying attention to it with laser eyes. And I won't have diamond hands there. I'll be very papery, very papery in a moment like that. So until, hopefully that we get that crystal clear behavior to show up in there. So, okay. There you go. Melissa says, hey, BC Backer, please go over again when you would use your cash. If total 2, total 3 break through retracement level, and it would be a diversify by several coins or concentrated. So it's essentially waiting to see confidence in Ethereum getting through. If Ethereum gets through with confidence, great. But first of all, like newbies, just calm you down for half a second here. I bought all this stuff, all of it, while y'all were crying, okay? And wrote it all the way up. There's times where I'm willing to take little losses in here and have to buy a little bit higher. And that's in these areas. These are the areas where a lot of the danger resides at in here. And it's when we get back into these retracements and the market has to prove that it's going to actually end up expanding. If Ethereum proves that it's going to expand from here, then historically, throughout the whole market, it's a very optimistic time for the entire market at that time. So if we can get an expansion to happen with Ethereum and to get it to break out here, this would be a place where I'd consider adding some more. Am I going to add all of it back? No, I'm not, because I've been here the whole time, man. It's time, I doubled the size of my cryptocurrency portfolio down here at the lows of the market. We get back up in here, and it's time for me to put some money in my pocket and buy myself some nice things. Time for me to get treated to some stuff. It's not like going up to a roulette table and then rolling it all on 7 and winning, and then saying I have to roll it all again on 24 now. It doesn't have to be that way, right? But that's not the way the crowd works. The crowd is extreme gamblers. An extreme gambling mentality, that's the culture because of meme coins. Meme coins tell you this is the culture right now. Gambling, not investing or finding value. It's gambling. And it's gambling because you have no idea if that meme coin printed on Solana is going to rug pull on you. You literally don't know. If you're some dude, okay, remember Ben F., like a year ago, who raised like $7 million in Ethereum? Some dude yesterday raised $10 million on Twitter. who learned, like, his first tweet was 2 months ago. Can somebody tell me how to make a Solana address? Here we are 2 months later, the dude raises $10 million, and then he lost it all today. When randos who nobody knows any of this stuff are sending $10 million to, it is, we are at gamble mode. We are at full-blown gamble. Anyway, I don't even know where I'm going with that. It's tangent. But yeah, need to see the proof of the expansion happening in the market on these stuff. So anyway, yeah, I don't have to roll it all on roulette again, right? Is the point of it, and treating it like full-blown gamble, because it becomes a new trade at this point. The thing throughout all of 2022 and 2023, what was the trade? The trade was to get back to the retracement levels. That was always the trade. Now it becomes a new trade. Now it becomes a trade of whether or not this expands. It's an entirely new trade, right? This is one trade. Now the question is new trade, and market trying to prove which trade is going to end up happening. And so in the event that we get proof of that, I'd be willing to grab some stuff that I am eyeing and thinking has value. And I write all about that stuff, and I give you guys all the tools to find the user activity levels, to find development activity, and cover all that stuff on where it's at. So, yeah. But we got to show prove expansion, and even for Solana, Solana is right where Ethereum is. Right, why is Solana so hyped like crazy? Because it took a long time to get back up here. It was a huge ride to get back up here. This is a 20xer, right, over 20x to just get back in here. So the percentages and the numbers create big hype. Right, but it's truly just at the same place that Ethereum is at right now. So we've got to see the proof of the expansion happen beyond that. Philip, man, gifted 1 BCB membership. Brother, Philip, thank you very, very, very much. Otherwise, guys, that's it. Next time you'll hear from me, we'll hopefully be in Australia. Hopefully something, traveling, you never know what's going to happen, right? Flying Boeing. Flowing on a Boeing. All right. Otherwise, like I mentioned earlier, I did put out a newsletter on last Friday, Altcoins on a Rampage, where the action is at, searching the market for best performing sectors with high dev activity, memes, and AI stealing the show. You can check this out over here on Substack. Oh my goodness, I didn't include the audio. Dude, no way. There's probably people all weekend who are like, dude, no, where's the audio? Holy cow. Is that really not on there? Oh, we're going to check it out. Did I not include the audio? How dare I? I didn't. Okay, we're going to edit this thing right here, right now. Audio, voiceover, select file. Now you're gonna be here with me. There we go. Hold on. We're doing this together. There's no way. I can't believe that thing went the whole weekend without the audio on it. Post the audio to YouTube.
Altcoins on a Rampage.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Update it. Update now. All right, there it is. Okay. Altcoins on a Rampage. Where the action is at. Searching. I can't believe it. It takes hours to put together that audio. It hasn't been there. Okay, searching the market for best performing sectors, high dev activity, memes, and AI still the show. Of course, we go through a lot of stuff in here on what has been high dev activity, how those performances have been doing in relation to the rest of the market, comparing the top 20, and then looking at the other sectors as well that are really taking off, which of course is AI and meme coins. So we have a couple of speculative bubbles forming in here, but things of value that are still outperforming the market on a whole. It's going to be those things that are seeing work being done on them. But again, where are the bubbles in the market? Memes and AI. And obviously it's gotten to a point where if you just put as we saw over there on CoinDesk, Corgi AI, there you have it. They know, right? What is speculation? What is the fever of the market? It is to chase anything AI related, having no understanding of how that coin will have anything to do with AI in general. But if it says AI, let's go. I think Justin Sun is the best at like trying to market Tron towards everything. Like he'll just post on Twitter, yes, what was it back? Tron is the best for DeFi and NFTs. And then like lately, these like because the narratives have changed, he's like Tron is absolute best for memes and for AI. And I think that is truly what a lot of these things are doing, is that you just add the AI lingo to it, you got it, you're good to go. But yeah, anyway, check that out. If with the time that I'll be gone, gives you something to be able to do over there and catch up on a lot of the research that I've done and hear my voice if you're missing me over there. So otherwise, of course, you can watch videos by me over here on bcbacker.com. Over 40 videos, over 11 hours of content. Check out xrpgoldcoast2024.com. There are links to all three of these things in the description of this live stream, to blockchainbacker.substack.com for the newsletter, bcbacker.com, and to xrpgoldcoast2024.com. Get a virtual ticket. Watch this thing. Again, in 2 days, we're going to end up having the FOMC meeting. Prepare for volatility this week. Prepare for everybody to explain anything away as being the result of the block reward halving, whether it's up or down. For the next 2 months, it's block reward halving's fault. Or block reward halving is because it's absolute pure, absolute gorgeous money, and that is why. So block reward halving is going to take the narrative probably for the next couple of weeks or months, but also be prepared. There's volatility this week usually on an FOMC meeting. I think I will eat. I don't even think I'll normally, like the thing is we usually live stream this thing. This is something we normally do every single week, every single time. And it's been actually really fun. And it's one of my favorite live streams that we do because I pretty much don't even have to talk. I actually legitimately can just read the chat and see the craziness that goes on in the chat. But I won't be able to live stream this one, guys. So you'll have to listen to Jerome Powell do his hard swallows and all of his throat clearing without me. Just know I'm there in spirit. And we'll see what happens, but just expect the expectation is flat, and the big topic of all of it is that, and listen to see if these questions get asked, that the Fed seems to probably be backed into a corner. Inflation is not going to go down anymore, at least not the year-over-year figures. It is probably bottomed. Now the Fed has a choice to either victory lap it and say we did it, or we're going to find out if they truly are checkmated. And if they're going to, I don't know what they're going to say. I don't know. Because the next 5 months, you're going to see inflation rise. So we'll see. That's Wednesday. Otherwise, that's it, guys. That's it. I'm bringing my laptop with me. I'm bringing my phone with me. So like, I'm sure you'll hear from me just in what manner is going to be the $1 million question and what time of day is the $1 million question. I'm practically on the other side of the world. So we'll see. Evan M says, when Lambo? Up only. Laughing. Dead. Never Lambo. All right. That's it, guys. It's weird. It feels weird to know that I'm not coming on to markets in the morning tomorrow. That feels weird. So, okay.
I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful week. I thank you guys so much for tuning in and for being here and your support and just enjoying the show and listen to the semantics of the nonsense that happen on here a lot of the times. But otherwise, guys, I hope that you have a wonderful week, and thank you for watching. And check out my content while I'm gone on BC Backer and Substack. And feels weird. I think I've taken time off before, but not this much. But I still don't think I am taking time off. I don't really know. I don't know. Okay, I'm done. Have a wonderful day, you guys. Have a wonderful week. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you could, please like this live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back.
Have a good one.